Hello everyone. So in today's video, I want to talk about one huge problem that the creative industry in Nigeria has that no one is talking about. Like, since I've become a content creator, I have not seen anybody talking about this one issue. So I decided, hey, let me lend my voice to this. This is something that mostly will affect you as a small creator. If you're a big creator, it might not affect you, but let me still share what I want to say. Now, this issue stems from working with brands in Nigeria. Now, if you're a small creator, unfortunately, a lot of brands will reject you. Why? Because of your numbers. Now, in this part of the world, brands focus on numbers other than ideas. Now, you can be a small creator, you can have very huge ideas. You can want to do things that no one else is doing that are unique and all that when it comes to approaching a brand. But in the end of the day, when you reach out to the brand and you tell them what you want to do and everything, they will instantly reject you. Why? Because you don't have the numbers to reflect that, if you get what I mean. Now, I want to share my experience with this type of thing based on like some stuff that has happened and everything. So recently I started this series on my channel where I review severely underrated banks in Nigeria, like not banks like Opay, Palmpay and the rest, but ones that you don't know about, that they have like a smaller user base and everything. So I look at these banks that are underrated and I review them and everything on my channel. Like, so far I reviewed like 18 different banks and it's crazy, honestly speaking. So after I sat down to make the video about the banks and everything, I tried to reach out to each and every one of the banks, and I haven't been successful, honestly speaking. So now, let me just give you some of the things that happened with my interaction with these banks. So there was one of the banks that they did reach out to me on Instagram and stuff, and they said, oh, they liked my video and everything, and they work for so and so bank that I reviewed, and I was happy and everything. So I was like, hey, this could actually be a good opportunity for me to actually try and work with this bank. So I told the bank like my ideas, what I wanted to do, that type of thing. Like, I wanted to take a more practical approach at promoting their brand and everything. And in the end of the day, the brand told me, oh, just go ahead, make the content and everything. Like, they didn't care about what I had to offer. I told them that without a budget, that what I want to do is practically impossible because I need to do more practical stuff, and that obviously requires a budget. So then I told them my budget. I tried to even reduce the price so that way it wouldn't look as if I'm asking for too much. End of the day, I got ghosted after that. In fact, I even reached out to one of the banks that I reviewed and I told them my ideas again. I told them what I personally would want to do when it comes to working with your bank and everything. And after giving them all my ideas and all that stuff, they responded back with, after reviewing my ideas, the team does not want to work with them. Instead, they want me to do something else that's completely different. I said, okay, can you be more specific on what you want me to do and everything? And at the end of the day, I got ghosted after that. In fact, let me tell you one that's a bit more painful in my opinion. So essentially, there was one of the banks that I reviewed that I reached out to. They said they loved my video and everything. They want to discuss more. So I was discussing with the person in charge, blah, blah, blah. And then I gave them my budget, told them everything I wanted to do. They told me, okay, they'll send the money, drop my account number, everything will be sent. I waited, and up till now, I've not received any alert. And then I tried to reach out to other people who work in the bank and everything. I tried to give them those same ideas, but to even give them more things that they could do to improve their customer service, like stuff that would help them in the long run. And no one actually has listened to that. Like, that's just one thing about the banks and everything. Like, they will reject you as soon as they see that you're a small creator, because whatever you have to offer doesn't hold weight because of your numbers. In fact, like, to even prove what I'm saying, so one of the banks that I tried to reach out to and they rejected my ideas and everything, they are working with a super huge influencer in Nigeria, and like, that's it. Like, you can see they care more about numbers. And the thing about all these banks and everything that I reviewed is that A lot of them have a lot of unique features in their apps that they don't post about. Like one of the banks that I reviewed essentially had this very nice and unique feature that I even talked about in my video. But when I went through the social media page of that same bank, they didn't have any information about this feature at all. So how do you want people to know about this type of thing when you're hiding? And I told this bank, hey, that this is what I want to show in my video to make sure that more people know about this feature and everything. And they just didn't really see the value at all. And I know that if I had more numbers, that I probably wouldn't be treated like that to the banks and everything. Now, this isn't me trying to say that, hey, I'm being entitled and stuff. No, I'm not being entitled. I respect everyone. I respect every creator. It's whether or not I get the deal, it's okay. But then the thing is that if you're a small creator like me and you try to reach out to banks and everything, even if your videos are good, even if you're the first person doing this and that, even if you're doing things that other people are not doing, because your numbers are like this, no one will take you seriously. Now, I remember this thing that happened to my sister. So essentially, I remember this was like a few years ago. I made a video on Instagram and it went viral and it got the attention of a particular brand. So they were talking with me that they have a product. It's like a delivery app and everything. They liked what I made, blah, blah, that type of thing. So then I wanted my sister to be the one to make content. This and so I referred her and said, hey, use her for the content, everything for your delivery app and stuff. So then the brand and my sister discussed and everything. And what happened was that she told them that about the idea she wanted to execute for the brand, and then she told them her budget and everything because she wanted to do something that was like more practical to show like actual deliveries and stuff. They told her that their budget was way lower. She said that she couldn't work with that because it's way too small, because she's gonna get different people to also help and everything, that the budget is too small. They told her no, that they're not going to do that, and at the end of the day they just cut off all ties. The next thing you now know, they went to a bigger creator. Now this creator is, I would say, like, is on one of those medium-sized influencers, not all those huge ones and stuff. So what happened was that they ended up working with this creator. This creator, they're talking about, oh, do you know that this app can do delivery, blah, blah, that type of thing. And then that was it. And it was just retail. And I know that they paid this creator way more money. So that shows you that even if you have the best ideas and you're small, most brands may not take you seriously. Now, I have been very lucky and privileged to just work with a few of these brands who they look past all that stuff, which I am very grateful for. For the brands that I've worked with currently, I am very grateful to you guys for actually giving me the chance. Like, I feel like crying right now, honestly speaking, but still, other people might not be as successful as me. I mean, I will not call my stuff success per se. Like, I'm still there, small and everything, but still, I'm privileged enough to work with a few brands. But there might be other people who may have the same amount of followers as me, but they don't have the same stuff too. Now, the question that you might ask yourself is, why do brands in Nigeria care about numbers? Well, it's quite simple. What these brands want is a short-term return. So now, if they want returns and everything, they look for people who are big. Now, they may look for people that have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers and everything to come and promote their stuff. Because the more followers and views and everything you have, the more people that brand can reach out to. So that's why they pay these people who have the numbers and stuff. And the people that happen are just like, oh, do you know you can do blah, blah, and then they'll just do that. And from there, people may join everything. And then that's just what they want. They don't really think about this stuff long term, honestly speaking, like based on my perspective of this. Now, one other thing that brands also believe is that the more followers you have, the more people that they can reach and everything. This is not always the case with every single type of influencer. Now, for example, I remember now that I was watching this video about people talking about small influencers and big influencers, and then somebody said that they spent millions of naira on an influencer who could not get anybody into their platform. Isn't that crazy, honestly speaking? Now, let me just tell you one thing about small influencers. Even if their community is small, people believe them more compared to a big influencer. And let me try to give an example. Okay, so let's assume that you have 5 different friends now, and you're close to them and everything, and then you tell your friends, oh, I downloaded this app that helps me to save money and everything. You tell one of your friends, and then your friend will trust you and believe you because obviously you guys are close and everything. So they'll download the app because of you. And if the app works for them, they'll tell more people, oh, I have this app, it helped me to save money. And from there, more people will, download the app and everything. That's how it works. And if you have your other friends, you tell them about the app and everything, and they'll be like, okay, I trust you and everything. They'll download the app because of you. And from there, they'll spread it more and more and more. Do you get what I mean? There was even this one thing that I learned from Adefe when it comes to influencer marketing. Now, for influencer marketing, the thing is that influencers are meant to be there for exposure and not sales. And let me explain how. So let's assume that a brand tells me, hey, come and promote this flash drive here. I'll promote it on my page and everything. Now, there are people that watch the video, there are people that will save the video and everything, and they'll save it for later and stuff. Now, let's assume that one day that one of the people who saved the video or saw the video was going online and they saw this same flash drive here. They'll not remember that, oh, I'm the one that promoted it. And then from there, they'll use it because of that influencer. Do you get what I mean? That's how the marketing works, essentially. I also remember this thing that Opay, the biggest food critic in Nigeria, said. He used to talk about how brands and creators always like doing the same thing. Now, see me that I told you earlier that I tried to reach out to the brands and I tried to essentially pitch to them the type of idea I wanted to execute that's different from what other people are doing. And, I ended up getting rejected and everything because the problem is that brands always want to do the same thing. They don't want to try out something different that could actually help them. Now, I just wanted to try doing something different that would give people a different perspective on how these banks are seen and how they can be used and stuff, if you get what I mean. But then, as I said, it's okay if they don't want my ideas. I'll just continue making more content that makes me happy, personally speaking. But then, what I'll just tell you is this. If you're a small creator and something like this happens to you, here are the pieces of advice I can give you. Number one is this. If you don't want to get rejection and everything, I would say that you should probably stop reaching out to these brands and all that stuff, because the more you do, the more rejected you're going to get. And secondly, I would say this. If you still want to reach out to brands, I'll just tell you, don't go for the big brands, because big brands are not even going to answer you at all. Unless you have the connections or whatnot, or unless you know what you're doing, trust me, big brands will not even answer you at all. I'll just tell you to try and go to the smaller brands. They're the ones that might listen to you more. Now, this is not always 100%, but still, based on my experience working with brands, it's always the smaller ones that I have had a little more success working with, not the big ones. But not every small brand, if you get what I mean, but just a few of them. So yeah, that's my advice to you if you are a small creator and everything. So yeah, that's all for today's video. If you've ever experienced this type of thing, please comment below. And as always, I hope I see you guys next time.